alright. Bosh. Don't know why I'm really live, to be quite frank. Kind of bored, actually. That's why I'm live. Had the day off work. I say I've had, well, I had yesterday off, today off, and I've got tomorrow off. But I say I had it off. I've still been doing shit, like for the other channel, making scripts, well, writing scripts, doing recordings, all that stuff, you know. So I haven't really had the days off, but it's better than working. It's better than working, no doubt about it. But yeah, I've been busy. Now though, kind of bored, so I thought, fuck it, I'll fire up a live stream. Haven't streamed for a minute on this YouTube channel. I've streamed Undisputed a little bit, I think. But I thought, fuck it, we'll have a regular boxing chat. It's a weird time to stream, I know. But to tell you the truth, boxing this year, for me, has been largely uninteresting, I'd say. It's been largely uninteresting. So, making content on boxing and that sort of thing's been a bit of a struggle, man, because I can't really make content on stuff I'm not really into. I have got a video coming up on Josh Taylor, his return. That's about it, though, really. What's up, Emmanuel? How you doing, bro? Oh, yeah, of course, man. I'm going to watch the Europa League final later. Bro, I've already started drinking, mate. I've already started drinking. I don't usually drink in the week, but like I said, I've had some days off, so... And I've done a bit of work, like I said. I've got a script done. I edited 2 videos. One was uploaded yesterday on the other channel. So yeah, I've been productive. What I keep putting off, though, that I should have really done. I need to fucking do my self-assessment for my tax. Scumbag tax man. Plus I've got to pay about 2.5 grand, something like that. And I have until, I think it's July. I don't even know. Fuck the tax man. Fuck the tax man. He's a fucking cunt. That cunt's taken... Well, I dare not think about it. Yeah, of course, man. Another World Boxing Super Series. 100%. I'll tell you what, man. We're seeing this Saudi involvement in boxing. We're hearing about this nonsense TKO league. How about buy the rights to the World Boxing Super Series? How about that? And have a big, grand tournament every year. Maybe 2 tournaments every year. A couple in different weight classes. How about that? Oh, but they're going to do this TKO bullshit league. Don't get me wrong. I understand the merit behind this league. It could give exposure to lesser fighters or lesser known fighters who may be talented. I'm not saying the TKO league has no merit. I think there's a good idea behind it. But, like, why... The World Boxing Super Series is such a good fucking format. It's such a good format. I wish the Saudis would buy the rights to it and relaunch it. Because they have the money to make the prizes big. That'd be really cool. But yeah, the Saudis, after what happened a couple of weeks ago with the New York card and the Canelo card, they need to hit the next card out of the park, man, because that weekend with that New York card was one of the worst weekends of boxing I've seen. And I don't think it's over the top to say that. I don't think it's over the top, to be honest. But they need to... That card in New York, the new card in New York, that needs to knock it out of the park. So Hamza Shiraz versus Edgar Berlanga. Believe it or not, I'm actually looking forward to that fight as much as any on the schedule, because neither guy's particularly great, but both guys are flawed. Both guys can hit a bit. I think that'll be a good fight. Berlanga versus Shiraz. I think that'll be a good fight. Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias on that card. You guys know I like Matias. I think he's one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. To me, that's what boxing is about. Violence, aggression, you know, never say die attitude. come for your head type of attitude. That's what boxing's about, and fighters like that should always have the greatest amount of respect in boxing. It is what it is. Fighters like that should be rewarded, and I'm glad that Matias is on one of these cards, because, like I said, every single one of his fights pretty much is exciting. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. Now, I plan on making a video about this fight. I think this fight is a huge test in regards to Saudi Arabian involvement in boxing. What I mean by that, is this going to be more of the same when we see American fighters in America get preferential treatment over foreign fighters, particularly foreign fighters who don't move the needle, like we saw with Ward and Kovalev, like we saw with Canelo and Golovkin, like we saw with Haney and Lomachenko, etc., etc. Is this going to be a continuation of that? Or is this going to be an even playing field? That's what I'm very interested in. Is Zepeda going to be compromised? Is he going to be hindered in some way? Is the deck going to be stacked against him? Or will this be a real fight? Now, the Saudi fights so far, overall, most have seemed pretty real. There's been a few I've been questioning, but overall, I think their hit rate is far better than what we see in America. William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson, to me, is a big deal. To me, this will maybe make or break my opinion on Turki Alalshikh. I'll go that far. And I'm not saying if Shakur wins it's a fixed fight or nothing like that, but what I'm saying is, I'll know if it's a real fight. I'll know if William Zepeda is compromised. We'll see. I'm looking forward to that fight. That fight's going to be very revealing. Let me tell you that now. That fight's going to be very revealing. I totally agree, Emmanuel. Usyk Dubois 2 doesn't excite me either. Totally agree. Don't know what it is, but I don't care right now. I don't care. Really don't care. I'd rather see Usyk fight somebody different. See, this is what I'd rather. If they were going to go down that route, I would have rather seen Dubois fight Parker, winner, fights the winner of Caballero Usyk. That's what I would have liked to have seen. Something different. I'm sick of these rematches. Oh, but Usyk can become a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion. What does it mean, though? He lost that belt via politics. We know he's the man. It's just a bullshit accolade. A 2-time undisputed champion. By the way, who decided being a multi-time undisputed champion in one weight class is better than being a 1-time undisputed champion? Because to become a multi-time undisputed champion, you have to have lost the belt. Some bullshit-ass accolades in boxing. Hey Del, personally, boxing hasn't really caught my eye since Ennis Stanionis. Alan flattening Fisher was easily the most exciting boxing-related thing I've seen in weeks. I agree, bro. And when we're relying on Dave Allen to give us those moments, we're in fucking trouble, aren't we? And by the way, I have to say, listen, Dave Allen done his thing, got the knockout win, great. I'm already sick of this cunt being on social media. Sick of him. This guy, a leopard, doesn't change its spots. He's a fat, lazy pig. He always will be. Knocking out Johnny Fisher doesn't change that. Johnny Fisher is rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Now this guy is going to be stuck on our screens for the next year. He's already saying, oh, but my next fight, I want an easy fight, like a Chris Lovejoy. This guy's a disgrace. Get him in there with Jalalov and get this guy's head pounded in. I'm sick of him already. Sick of him already. G-Man. Big up G-Man. How have the Tevin Farmer fights affected your thoughts on Zepeda? Not as much as you'd think, because Farmer's adjusted his style in recent fights. In the last sort of couple of years, he's adjusted his style, holds his feet a lot more, throws a lot more in the pocket, and actually he's got better offensively, Tevin Farmer. in recent years. He's throwing more crisp punches with better technique. Shakur's not going to do that. Shakur's not going to do that. You know, I don't think he's got the balls to do that, to tell you the truth. Don't think he's got it in him. Bruce, what's up, man? How you doing? Drunk Irishman, salute. And by the way, we was talking about this Shakur card. So I love the Shiraz Belanga fight. I actually like that fight. Stevenson Zepeda is very interesting. Puello versus Matias. Again, Matias is always exciting. But here's the sleeper at light heavyweight. David Morrell versus Imam Kartayev. Kartayev, I've seen a fair bit of Kartayev. Very good amateur. Out of Russia. 10-0 with 9 knockouts. He's basically like Artur Beterbiev light. He's like a shitter version of Beterbiev, but still dangerous. Powerful guy, stocky, stout, strong, hard power jab, powerful crooked punches. Morrell's going to have to be using his legs in this fight. He can't afford, in my opinion, to engage with Kartayev, especially early on, because that's going to give Kartayev a chance. I think if Morrell uses his legs, uses his hand speed and foot speed, he should win this fight, but it's dangerous. That's not an easy fight to come back to, especially considering what type of guy Kartayev is, because he's a hard-punching guy who isn't known. So coming unstuck in this fight is detrimental to David Morrell. So credit to him for taking it. It's a hard fight, but it's a fight in which, if he wins, he won't get much credit for. That's a great fight, though. I like that fight. I'm interested, Chris. I'm interested. I think Shakur wins a split decision robbery. Zepeda's all wrong for him. He hasn't fought a guy that brings that sort of volume. And he does it out of a southpaw stance as well, Zepeda. It's going to be interesting. After Usyk beats Dubois, it should be Parker next. Parker, Caballero. I'm not fussed. By the way, I saw a post on Twitter. I think it was Twitter. I don't know where I saw it. But have you guys seen that news going around that Caballero apparently turned down a Vladimir Klitschko fight? Like Klitschko, I'm presuming, to come out of retirement. Have you guys heard that? For the interim WBC title. Apparently Klitschko tried to get a fight with Caballero. Yo, what's up, Lee? How you doing? What's the most explosive fight that can be made now? Inoue Nakatani's right up there. Inoue Nakatani is right up there. In fact, that might be the one. I was at the Met Stadium. Is that an outdoor stadium? Like like an outdoor stadium? Because those sort of... That doesn't usually happen in America. That's cool. If that's an outdoor fight, that's great. I've only ever been to one outdoor stadium fight, which was Froch Groves. And that was... it was a great atmosphere, but watching boxing in a smaller arena is definitely preferable. But it was a great atmosphere. Everybody was doing fucking coke there as well. Everybody, I swear. It was the same. I went to see Carl Froch versus Bute in Nottingham in 2012. And all of his fights, man, just seem to have loads of sniff heads about. It's crazy. But I've not been to boxing. I don't think I've been to see a boxing match since Froch Groves at Wembley. Ever since then, I've just watched it from home. But yeah, I don't think I've seen a boxing match live since then. Where I'm located, it's just a pain in the ass to get to places. Like, I could get to London and that relatively easily, but it's for travel. Like, you know, trains and shit. It's like, I can't be arsed. I just can't be arsed. Lou Armstrong Stadium, next to Met Stadium. It's a tennis arena. Nice. That's going to be sick. That's going to be sick. You should get a good seat there then. That's going to be sick. Advice, Del. I just got back from a 3-month trip of Brazil and Argentina, but since coming home to the US, I feel so disassociated from Western society. Am I tripping? I think a lot of people feel like that right now, bro. I think a lot of people are unsure about where society is heading and what direction we're going in. I think a lot of people feel like that anyway, in general. And I think the fact that you spent a time away is probably just exasperated that feeling. You know? I'd like to get out and take a long trip somewhere. For me, it would definitely be Latin America, I'd say. Latin America or Eastern Europe. They're two parts of the world that I think I would get on well with. Just culturally, food-wise. Women, of course, you know. I think if I were to leave the UK, I would never leave the UK though, really. If I were to leave the UK, like realistically, it would only be America. Not because I wouldn't want to live somewhere else, but I think it's mad disrespectful moving to a country that you don't know the language of. Personally, I wouldn't do that. If I wanted to move to Brazil, I'd learn Portuguese, or if I wanted to go to Mexico, for example, I'd learn Spanish. Because I think people who do that, like people who move to a country without knowing the language, yeah, I think that's no bueno. It is no bueno. There's no I think. It is. It's just disrespectful. Last fight I went was Warrington Galahad. Fuck me. What a terrible fight to go to. What a terrible fight to go to. I remember watching that on telly and it was fucking... Ugh. But yeah, is it me? Is it me, or has 2025, in regards to boxing, been distinctively average? We had Beterbiev Bivol, which I liked. And there's been like the odd fight here and there. There's been the odd story here and there, like Tank getting a gift against Lamont Roach, but I just feel like it's been boring as fuck. Okay, you met Hitchens 2 weeks ago. Very sound guy. Going to Hitchens versus Kambosos next. Card is solid. Oh, is that official now? I'll be honest with you. I'm not a massive fan of that fight. I don't know what Kambosos has done to earn a title shot, to tell you the truth. Andy Cruz is on that card. Okay. He's fighting Mishiro. Mercado's on that card, who I like the look of. Ernesto Mercado. Decent fighter. That's an alright card. There's that Canadian heavyweight on that card as well, who I've never seen. Alexis Ballier. Never seen him before. That's not a bad card to go to be fair. Yeah, last time I went to York Hall, Jamie, was about... It was either 2013 or 2014, and the fight was Richard Comey, or Comey, however you want to say it. He was fighting Gary Buckland. I think it was Gary Buckland, I'm sure it was. But that's the last time I went to York Hall. It was around 2014. I think I'm going to Google this, what year it was. Because he didn't actually knock out the guy. I'm sure it was Gary Buckland. York Hall's decent, to be fair though. York Hall's decent. Yeah, 2014. It was 2014. The only thing about York Hall when I was there, it was fucking so hot in there. It was like a furnace, honestly. I don't know how those guys went 12 rounds. But yeah, it was a good atmosphere in there. It was decent. It was decent. So I only went there though because this was when I was boxing, or training anyway. Not like I wasn't fighting like amateur, but I was training. And the guy at my gym, one of the coaches, had like free tickets, so he took a couple of us up to York Hall. On that card as well, there was guys like Miles Shinkwin, I think it was. And the Evangelo brothers, if you guys remember them guys. So he wants Teofimo after Kambosos. Okay. Yeah, that's true, JDM, innit? That's true, yeah. Kambosos signed to Eddie. That earned him a title shot, basically. But this is the thing, man. One of these things I'm kind of sick of in boxing. I'm sick of guys like Kambosos getting recycled. He didn't deserve his last title shot against Loma, to be honest. And here he is again, hanging around like a bad smell. Some of these guys just get recycled time and time again. And I don't mind it sometimes. So, like, for example, a guy like Gabe Rosado, when he gets recycled, I don't have a bigger problem with it because at least he's fun to watch. Kambosos isn't. But, you know, to be fair to Kambosos, he's ridden his 5 minutes pretty well. He's made a lot of money. Oh, you actually think it was a draw? I haven't seen that fight since the time. Yeah, I went on a little rant about this earlier, Lee. I'm already sick of I'm already sick of Dave Allen and his resurgence. What has been said about him has always been true. He's a fat, lazy wanker who's a little crafty. You know, he's a bit crafty at a certain level, but he's fat, he's lazy. He'll never amount to anything serious in boxing. Johnny Fisher is just rubbish. He's awful. You know, seems like a nice kid. I kind of feel bad for cussing him up. He seems like a nice kid, but the truth is he's rubbish. That's the truth. He's awful. Since he turned pro, there's been zero improvement. Zero. Zero fight IQ. Zero boxing understanding. He's a lump. That's about it. He's rubbish. Dave Allen, if he fights anybody half decent, he loses. That's the reality. To end this, like I said, my idea would be Jalalov versus Dave Allen. He's not even British level, bro. He's like area level. So it goes area, English, then British level. He's area level. Just. Like, just. Oh, can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine if they make Dave Allen versus Pulev for a regular WBA heavyweight title? If that happens, I might retire from this whole shit. I ain't gonna lie. Can you imagine? Don't even fucking say it. Don't even speak it into existence, man. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine that fat wanker trudging around a ring in Bulgaria, following a 45-year-old Pulev about, still getting his head jabbed off? What an awful fight that'd be. Cool, fuck me. I can see it now. I can see it now. This guy plodding around. Awful. Oh, God. That's hideous. Now, Anderson would smash up Fisher. Anderson sucks, yeah. He's not great, but he'd bash up Johnny Fisher. The Josh Taylor hype in 2025 is wild. He's a big favourite to beat Esserman. I think it's a 50-50. Esserman is a good domestic fighter. If Taylor is shot, then yeah, it could be a 50-50. If he's got anything left, he should beat Esserman. Boxing is dead. 2025 has not been great, Armando. It's not been great, have to be honest. Hence why I've not made much content. I've tried to like make content, but I just can't make content that I'm not interested in. You know? What are your actual feelings towards Canelo Crawford? It's not like Bud is chinny, and despite the size difference, Canelo isn't really getting knockouts nowadays, and is slow-footed. Bro, I hate to be that guy, but I don't care about that fight. Not right now, anyway. Maybe when it gets close, I'll start caring about it, but I've not even thought about it. Canelo looks awful against William Skull. I don't care whether he was running. He was. But Canelo still looked bad. He looked bad. His feet looked slow. One punch at a time. You know, rubbish. Crawford, though, himself against Madrimov, looked poor, I felt. No, let me take it back. He didn't look poor, but he looked very human against Madrimov, I felt. Bear in mind, Virgil Ortiz did a better job on Madrimov than Crawford did. He did. He won more rounds than Crawford did against Madrimov. And that Crawford-Madrimov fight was, what, last year? So it's another year later. Crawford's going up 2 weight classes. Don't care about that fight, I'll be honest. I'd rather see Crawford fight Murtazaliev. I'm not trying to be a hardcore helmet. I'm not, but I'd genuinely rather see that fight. And at this point in time, I'd rather see Canelo just retire. I'm just bored of his fights. If he's not going to fight Benavidez, I'm not interested in any Canelo fight. Not interested. I went to Jared's last fight at MSG, and he nearly got knocked out and was booed out the arena. He ran to the locker room. Yeah, that was against that Greek dude, wasn't it? Kolias or whatever his name was. I could be wrong, Dale, but I'm sure that trinket belt he won means he could fight Pulev. Yeah, he's going to get ranked, so you could be right. Buatsi Smith was a good fight. Yeah, that was a good fight. And that was a decent card in general, wasn't it? The Beterbiev-Bivol card. That was a good card. What bothers me is there's barely any exciting upcoming prospects. So back in the day, when I was really grinding on YouTube, like back in the day of like pre-COVID, I'd say. Because I don't think I've ever really got on that grind since COVID. And it wasn't because of COVID, it's just because I was losing interest, But back then I could tell you about every prospect worth talking about. And don't get me wrong, like, life has changed since then. Like, I'm a lot more busy than I was. Like, I've got so much on, like, all the time. Most of it is self-inflicted, but yeah, I've got a video coming out on it, DJ Clockwise. The way I see it, bro, is Esserman is a very good domestic level fighter. He's a guy that does everything pretty well with doing nothing spectacular. He's not the fastest, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, not the biggest puncher, but he does everything pretty well. Good guard, decent jab, decent inside game. He's well-rounded, Echo Esserman. If Taylor has anything left, considering he was a world-level fighter, Taylor should beat Esserman. If Taylor is shot or close to shot, we'll find out in this fight. So we're going to find out, I think, in this bout, what Taylor has left, or where he's at, roughly. Yeah, Crawford versus, Murtazaliev, that'll be a great fight, bro. Crawford-Ortiz, another great fight. And what's going on with Virgil, by the way? Where's he at? Don't know why, but boxing doesn't excite me anymore. The only fights I look forward to are guys I've been watching for years, like Lee Wood. Not interested in a Talma or likewise. Yeah, he's fighting this weekend against an absolute bum. He's got a puncher's chance, Owen Dubois against Usyk. And Usyk slowed down since that first fight. So Dubois got a bigger chance now than he did back then. I think Dubois got better to a degree. He's more confident now, which is massive, I think, for him at least. And I think Usyk is slowing down. So it's a dangerous fight for Usyk still. But I just don't care about it. I just don't care about it. It just doesn't fill me with, like, excitement. I don't think it's fun. Is that another thing you guys have been feeling? I feel like the fun, I don't know what it is, but I feel like the fun is being sucked out of boxing. I really do. I feel like the fun's being sucked out. Now I think he'll win. I do think Josh Taylor's going to win. But we'll find out what he's got left. If Crawford still fought at light middleweights still, he wouldn't be undefeated. He doesn't want his record tarnished. Possibly, yeah. I mean, why else has he been inactive since Madrimov, right? He wants the Canelo fight. He doesn't want to risk anything in between. What are your thoughts on Turkey saying boxing is better with a black heavyweight champion? Should Usyk be worried? I low-key think he wanted to say a black USA champion, but chose his words carefully. I think Turkey is. I think he puts things out there that he thinks the fans want to hear. I don't think he particularly cares that much, personally. I don't think he personally cares that much. I just think he puts sound bites out there to try and appease the casual audience. Personally, that's how I see it. He does get too involved, though, Turkey, I think. I think he's getting to the stage to where I don't like that he's blatantly rooting for certain outcomes in fights. Well, that's how it appears anyway. Yeah, I agree. Dubois Parker should have been rescheduled, yeah. The fact that it wasn't shows me that it was a duck. It was a duck. You could say that. You could say that. You could make the argument. To be fair, I miss the days of Ted Cheeseman going life and death with every opponent he faced. Yeah, man. See, that's another thing. Even at like domestic level here in the UK, I don't feel like there's those guys who are guaranteed excitement. You know, those British level guys who would always bring it, even if it was in just domestic fights. Where are those guys now? Where are those guys? Don't forget that Turkey reads through the boxing subreddit, yeah. Did Tio say the N-word? It's the first I'm hearing of it, I'll be honest. I haven't been keeping up with it. But we're kind of living in that world now where we had that proper politically correct era that I think is dying, and now the pendulum is swinging to like, I think edgy behaviour, edgy comments are more acceptable now, or more part of the culture, I'd say. I don't really care. I don't really care. Also sick of broadcasters talking about how Turkey absolutely loves boxing, yeah. What's up, Veltschmerz? How you doing? Yeah, there's not going to be an American heavyweight champion for a few years. Richard Torres is fun. He's a fun fighter. He's exciting. Is he any good? I think he'll come unstuck. Aside from him, who is there? To be fair, now I've been a Sonny Edwards hater. He's not the worst on commentary, I'll say that. I don't think he's particularly amazing, but he's not the worst. He's not Darren Barker, you know. Yeah, guys like Kyle Froch sold their souls to Turkey for an interview and to be invited to a big fight. True Geordie's the same. Yeah, listen, man, most of these guys in this industry are prostitutes. You know? They'll put out the releases of the promoters. They'll push the narratives that the promoters want to be pushed. But they won't question the product or certain fights, certain fighters, etc. Most of these big channels are like that. That's just the reality, unfortunately. I wish I had more time, I really do. I wish I had more time. Because if I had more time, I would take this channel in a completely different direction. Would be doing different bits of content, like face cam type of content, where we'll really mix it up. I think there's a space in this quote-unquote industry for a guy like, you know, how like MMA Guru, when it comes to the UFC. I think there's a space for a guy like that in boxing. Yeah, Darren Barker's awful. He sounds like a drunk. Awful. Dreadful. I just don't have free time, bro. I work. I run the other channel. I've got a lot of stuff going on, like personally, that I always have to take care of. You know, like family stuff and all that. Just too much to do, bro. Too much to do. I mean, maybe I could do it. I could stretch myself and do it, but I'd need to really commit to it. And I feel like if I could commit to it, I know what I can do. I did it with the other channel. I know I could take this channel to the next level if I wanted to. But it's just the time. Because I know I can wind people up. I know I can wind people up probably better than anybody on this site, I'll be honest. Like, we've had Coogan on strings, he's blocked us. Porky's Corner, we had him on strings. We had Spencer Oliver, no, not Spencer, Spencer Theron on strings. And without even trying as well. So I kind of just want to do that. There are times when I kind of just want to do that, like just cause havoc, be a troll. A truthful troll, though. Sugar Shane Fury. I'm a fighting man. I'm an hard man. I've got to be in the mood to do the rinsing, though. That's the only thing. I've got to be in the mood. Kind of want to go in on Dave Allen. Because I know that guy watches YouTube, like boxing channels. It's got to find that spark, you know? Got to find that spark. Triple B's, he's hilarious, man. He's kind of the only person in the scene who does that sort of content. He's kind of like the only person who does it, I'd say. That kind of like trolly content that's fun and, you know what I mean, but still kind of tells the truth. He's like the only person who does it. From my knowledge, anyway. The thing is with it, you don't want to get stuck to play to a certain audience. You still have to be authentic with it. You still got to be authentic with it. And I think this is a problem with like a lot of... there's a category of people I call boxing truthers. Where... all of you guys know I'm very open to fixed fights. I think certain fights are fixed. I've said that I felt certain fights are fixed. But there's also a subset of people that think like everything in boxing's fake. And it becomes convenient for when their fighter loses. Those people take it to the... they're basically like... They're basically the same as a regular normie. They're just in their own little bubble. Yeah, Tyan Booth was up there as well, but he kind of just fell off, I guess, right? I think he didn't really mix it up, Tyan Booth. I think that was his issue. That's a great idea, yeah. It's time though, innit? Plus, I'd have to actually diet and shit and not smoke and not drink. To be fair, I've not been drinking much recently anyway. I've not been drinking much for the last year. I'm drinking now, which is... I promise I haven't been drinking that much. Yeah, Shane Fury seems alright, to be fair. Yeah, the YB is... yeah, no, the YB, I forget about him. Yeah, YB. He's a good wind-up merchant, I can't lie. He's a very good wind-up merchant. He does it well. You can tell that guy boils some people's piss. And that's the thing, that's the dynamic that has to be imposed when you do that sort of content. So if you call somebody out or direct content at somebody, when they kick off, you don't respond. So it's always on your terms. Like, you're the one pulling the strings. You don't then respond to them. He does a good job of that. He does a good job. It's a power dynamic, you know. You've got to be the one pulling the strings. You can't create beef, then go back and forth. It has to be on your terms. And yeah, YB does that pretty well. Yeah, I've noticed that some guys act like every fight is fixed, apart from guys I like. Yeah, so these are the same as like the normies. They're the exact same archetype as the normies. They just want to fit into a certain group, and they'll say things that are convenient to get favour within that group. I've noticed that as well. Would Peter Fury be a good long-term fit for Fisher? Not saying the Tibbs have done a bad job. You know, sometimes, man, sometimes somebody's just not good enough. I think you could resurrect Angelo Dundee. And it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. Who do I believe would have actually won between AJ and Wilder in 2018? So when both guys were in and around their primes, I was always like back and forth on it. I think AJ prior to Ruiz might have been favourite. Because he was a better technical boxer, kept his shape better. He was a better boxer. Anything, I don't know. I'd probably say AJ, but I wouldn't be confident in it. I'd probably say AJ though. Yeah, yeah. He's not a fan of old Otto Wallin. I don't really watch Blood. I watch Nordic. I watch Precise. I don't know who John Boxing is. I don't know who... Do I know who Boxing Truth is? It rings a bell. And I know Lee Talks Boxing. Yeah, I like some of those channels. Boxing Truth. That does ring a bell though. That rings a bell still. Boxing Truth. I'm sure I've seen this Boxing Truth. Who's Boxing Truth? Hasn't made videos in a minute. Looking by the titles, I'd probably like his content. Devin Haney was always a bum. I'd probably like the guy's content. The titles seem pretty out there. Depends what shape AJ comes in at. Ruiz one shape, Wilder all day long. Yeah, one thing about Wilder and AJ prime for prime, I do think the one thing about Wilder is, one bit of credit I'll give him, I do actually believe he's that sort of guy you genuinely have to nail to the canvas. No matter like what we think about his matchmaking, his skills, lack thereof, his chin, whatever. One bit of credit I will give Wilder. I do genuinely think he's the type of guy that you've got to nail to the canvas. I don't think he's easily discouraged. Like, he'll keep on trying. Whereas Joshua, I think, in times of crisis, doesn't respond as well. Doesn't respond as well mentally. Like, you can argue that Wilder doesn't respond well technically, but I think mentally Wilder, in those moments, is more impressive. No, you don't... I mean, bro, you don't... just get active again, bro. Like, I've noticed that when I go through, like, hiatuses or, like, spells without uploading, the views will be shit, but they do slowly climb back up. Thoughts on Miller pulling out? Disappointing, bro. I was actually looking forward to that fight, Miller versus Wardley, believe it or not. It's one of a few fights I was looking forward to. See, I look forward to random-ass fights. But to be fair, like, the replacement isn't bad. It's Justice Hooney. It's not a bad replacement. He's unbeaten. Good amateur. You know, when he turned pro, I actually quite liked him when he turned pro, Justice Hooney, but hasn't developed the way I expected. But it's a big opportunity for him. I think it's decent. Yeah, I like Joe Stunner. Yeah, Joe Stunner's a good channel. Yeah, I like Joe Stunner. Cool dude as well. Type of guy that I think you'd have a laugh with if you have a pint with him. And that's always one of my test, like that's one thing I'll say about people. Like if I feel like I could have a pint with them, then they're probably all right. See, what we was talking about Usyk Dubois. I don't really care for it. I'll be honest. I'd say Joshua 70% chance, Wilder 30% chance. Mentality-wise, I think AJ's a victim of being brought up in Watford. Like Druggy Dillian says, what bad man you know comes from Watford. I don't think he's even that, bro, man. I don't think he's even that. I just don't think he's that guy. I just don't think he's that guy. Personally, I just don't think he's got it in him. Because listen, I've spent like so much time in Luton, where like it's one of the worst towns in the UK, but like certain man on road is like some of these guys are fucking cowards, like the biggest cowards you'll see. So I don't know, man. Like I feel like if you grow up in a poor environment, in a bad part of town or a bad place, it kind of exasperates your natural character. So like if you're always destined to be a coward, you'll be a mega coward in the streets. You still might be on some crud, you might be doing some fucked up shit, but you'll be doing it in a cowardly nature. And if you're if you are actually brave, then that'll bring it out of you even more. Huey versus Otto Wallin prediction. Sleep, like coma-inducing fucking fight, awful. O'Hara Davis has come back, now at 147. He's fighting in Ghana next. Are you serious? Fuck me. O'Hara Davis, let's have a look. He is as well, you know. Fucking hell, what's he doing out there? Why is he fighting again? He's been looking terrible. How old is O'Hara Davis? 33 years old. Why is that card on the zone? By the way. Andrew Tabiti's on that card as well, randomly. I thought Andrew Tabiti was dead. When did he last fight? Jesus Christ. What's that about? Who's got a better chin, Wilder or AJ? I'd say AJ, personally. Yeah, I've seen it, Hand History Vault. I was talking about Dave Allen earlier. I'm sick of him already. Personally. Like, he'll try and pull that same bullshit, you know, like the whole sympathy thing. He'll try and garner sympathy and like garner that sort of fan base, making the most of his last 5 minutes. Listen, he's won that fight. He got he got the fight against Johnny Fisher first time around on a big card without deserving it. Fair enough, he's taken advantage, but you still don't deserve shit. Like for what this guy's done in his career and the amount of times he's turned up out of shape, he doesn't deserve shit. So whatever fight he's offered, he should take, as far as I'm concerned. He's not the type of guy that you should waste time on giving him easy fights. He doesn't deserve it, quite frankly. Put him in there with a fucking killer. Put him in there with Jalalov. I don't give a fuck, honestly. Yeah, Dave Allen to me is a lot like Liam Cameron. Don't care whether they win or lose. Shouldn't be celebrated as heroes. But yeah, I mean, in this day and age, a guy like Dave Allen's going to get fanfare because he does that pathetic poor me act. That's been all the rage for a long time. You know, so yeah, I'm sick of Dave Allen already. I hope he's put in there with a killer next. I really do. I hope he's put in there with a killer. Just somebody who's good, like somebody who's fresh, hungry, and a puncher. That's what I want to see. How about get David Price out of retirement to slap him about again? Get David Price out of retirement to rid us from Dave Allen. Can't stand the guy. The guy's beat Johnny Fisher. A rugby player, basically. A big lump. He's beat Johnny Fisher. A guy who's barely area level. And now he's sitting here trying to dictate, oh, I want an easy fight next. Like, who the fuck is Dave Allen to deserve that? He's talking like he's Muhammad fucking Ahmad Bruce Lee. Now, you'd think this guy's had like a legendary heavyweight career that now he just wants his like retirement swan song. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? But yeah, put him in there with a Talma. Put him in there with a Talma. I'm looking to see that. Zhang versus Allen. I'd watch it, but the thing is though, this is the thing, I'm such a spiteful, vindictive cunt. I'd have Dave Allen fight a guy who's a monster puncher, like a really big puncher, like hungry, fresh, but nobody really knows who he is in the casual audience. So Dave Allen gets brutalised and he doesn't get paid much. That's what I'd like to see. Adelaide is not good. Adelaide is not good, but I think he's better than Dave Allen. Dave Allen could catch him, actually. Dave Allen could catch him. He could. But I still think Dave Allen will shell up and do fuck all in that fight. We've seen this story before, guys. This is a guy who lost to fucking Lenroy Thomas. Lenroy Thomas. Come on. Come on. Lenroy Thomas. He's a guy who's been on 12 pay-per-views in his career. It's something crazy like that. Never turned up in shape once. I'm giving this guy no grace. He got the congrats on the night, on the post-fight review. Fair play. You won the fight. Great knockout. Cool. Now we're back to hating again. We're back to hating again. David's the next Chisora. Bruh. Gassiev versus Allen. I'd watch it. Make that fight in like fucking some back alley in Armenia as well. Or fucking Uzbekistan. Some fucking small ass arena in the arsehole of nowhere. Like 20 man in the arena. Somebody was saying this earlier, bro. Somebody was saying this earlier. Dave Allen won a WBA trinket against Johnny Fisher. So he's going to get a ranking. He might be eligible to fight Kubrat Pulev for a WBA regular title. I can imagine that now, how awful that would be. He wouldn't beat Pulev even now. He wouldn't beat Pulev even now. Pulev would jab his head off and you'd see this fat wanker just follow him around, clinch, be awful. I can see it now. And it's not because Dave Allen isn't good. It's not because he's of a low level. That's not why I dislike the guy. It's for laziness. It's the constant opportunities without really ever capitalising or giving it a good effort. He lucked out against Johnny Fisher. Johnny Fisher is just rubbish. He was out of shape still. He was out of shape. And he lucked out. He was fighting somebody so poor that he could afford to be out of shape. It's not about the low level. I don't care. I like a trier. You know, Rosado, for example, Gabe Rosado, I keep bringing that guy up, but he's a great example. Yeah, he lost a whole bunch of fights, but the guy always made the most of his opportunities. He always tried to put on a show. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the attitude. You know, I'm not expecting everybody to be like fucking Sugar Ray Leonard or Mike Tyson or Lomachenko or Usyk in terms of skill, But in application, if you're fighting on big cards, you're fighting on pay-per-views, it's your duty to give it your all, to give it your best, both in camp and in the ring. And Dave Allen has never done that once. So, the festivities and the goodwill towards Dave Allen lasted circa a couple of hours after the fight. Now it's back to reality, back to the truth of the matter. The guy's still a lazy bum, and mark my words, the next time we see this guy in the ring, he'll be fat, he'll be out of shape, and we'll be here again. What's next for little Johnny? Retirement, bro. Retirement or misfits. That's it. He's rubbish. He's rubbish. By the way, where's the justice for Gareth A. Davis? The Gad. We need to sit down with Gareth A. Davis and Big John Fisher. Maybe get that on Misfits. Gareth A. Davis versus Big John Fisher. Get that on Misfits. Johnny Fisher on the undercard. I'd watch that. You know what? Gareth A. Davis would set about fucking Big John Fisher as well. It'd set about him. The jab, the movement. I can imagine it now. Yeah, Chisora would fuck up Dave Allen. Yeah, that's not good. Chisora would fuck him up. And he's shot as well. That wouldn't end well for Dave Allen. Why can't little Johnny make a career as a journeyman? Nothing wrong with a journeyman career, because... No, there's nothing wrong with a journeyman career, but most journeymen start as journeymen, the middle of their career they're journeyman, and at the end of a career they're journeyman. Johnny Fisher's been a social media star. He's not going to do that. He isn't. He's not going to do it. Big John Fisher saw the Gad for the dirty nigger thief he is, yeah. And imagine the footwork. That's why Gareth A. Davis has the advantage if they ever did fight. Because if you're stealing fucking women's underwear, your feet have got to be good. You know, you've got to be silent. You've got to be on your tiptoes. You've got to be moving quick. You've got to be getting low. Like Gareth A. Davis, his feet will be too fast, too good, too slick for Big John Fisher. Yeah. I agree, Nabzilla. I don't think Johnny Fisher's ceiling would be British level. If he ever got to British level, like truly, not like fake-wise, like not beating a couple of journeymen then fighting for a British title, but if he actually became a good standard British heavyweight, like British level heavyweight, I actually think the guy would deserve a lot of compliments, considering where he's at now. Do you think Bagad lost all that weight by quitting takeaways, like he says? Maybe. Maybe he's got AIDS, I don't know. He is the type to probably fall foul to that disease. Might be on the old Freddie Mercury diet, I don't know, like... Do I think Bukole could beat Bukole or a Jagba? Not in a million Sundays. Not a snowball's chance in hell. I think they both stop him, personally. I think they both stop him. I don't think Dave Allen would beat Jamie TKV. Oh, that's a great... Now, this is a great shout. Little Johnny is surely better than the son of Ricky Hatton. Surely. Yeah, I'd say he is. I'd say he is. Because at least when he lost, he gave us an exciting moment. Like, even when Campbell Hatton lost, he's such a little puncher that it wasn't even entertaining seeing him lose. Johnny's knocked some people out, like Joe said. He's rubbish, but at least he's like a bit exciting. Like Campbell Hatton's just awful to watch. Awful. Like proper awful. He's rubbish. But yeah, Johnny Fisher's a bit exciting at least. Okie dokie. I presume so. I presume Campbell Hatton's still fighting, but I'm guessing that he's going to be going on small hall shows from now on for a while. Maxie Hughes is fighting Archie Sharp Friday night on a GBM card. Interesting. Maxie Hughes will win that. Archie Sharp is another one. When he came along, I heard people say this guy was actually good. He's rubbish. I need to stop being so fucking harsh, but he's not great, Archie Sharp. He's not great. Chin in the air, hands down. You know, he got a gift against that dude. What's his name? Jeff Afori back in the day. I've never rated him at all. How he was so highly ranked for a period of time is crazy. Babbage versus Allen would be a fun fight. Yeah, it would. Is Alan Babbage still about? By the way, how bad is that cunt? How bad is he? Fucking hell. That fucking Polish guy had him on Queer Street. That Rosansky. And then Johnny Fisher done him in a round. Fuck me. Noticed how Prince Patel only fights drained Africans. I don't know what he's doing, bro. I don't know what he's doing. He's had the weirdest career ever, Prince Patel. The weirdest career ever. It makes me wonder, like, there has to be somebody funding him. Because his career just doesn't make sense. His career just doesn't make sense. So his last fight was in Tanzania. Fight before that was in Ghana. Fight before that was Tanzania. Then Ghana, Tanzania, UK, Tanzania, Ghana, Tanzania, Latvia, Germany, Egypt, Saudi, Egypt, Hungary, Czech Republic, Latvia, Poland. Like, what is this? These are his last fights where they've been held. Like, who's funding him? Like, there has to be somebody funding him because he's not making money. He's not bringing money, is he? Yeah, he's a game. Babbage is game, yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Babbage versus Tom Little, yeah. Sup, Rambler? Glad to catch Dell on the day off from doing Uber Eats. Lol. I've been doing Uber Eats. You know, there's parts of the country where that's actually good money. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. Maybe it's Uber Eats. But in certain locations, you can actually make good money doing shit like that. Johnny Fisher versus Max Jenkins. Do you know what? For banter, I'd watch it. But Johnny Fisher's bad. He's bad, but he's a physically strong guy. That Max Jenkins couldn't fight sleep. The only thing he needs to be worrying about fighting is diabetes. No, I don't do Uber Eats. I don't. I work in finance, I guess I'd call it. (286 Project), what's up, man? Are there any good sports commentators in the UK? Seems like there's a dearth of them. Yeah, there is, bro. I can't really tell you. Ian Dark, who still, he used to commentate on boxing. Really good commentator. He still does football. But bring him back to boxing. Like, bring him back. He's a really good commentator. Really good commentator. I wish he was back and doing boxing. I really do. I do have an unpopular opinion though, because every time I hear this guy's name mentioned, people hate him. I actually don't mind that John Rawling. You know the guy on, well, no, he used to be the BT commentator. I don't think he's on DAZN though now. He used to do like the Frank Warren shows. I don't think he does anymore though, because they're with DAZN. But I liked him. I didn't mind him. He wasn't great, but I thought he was alright. I thought he was alright. And I tell you what, actually, I have to be honest. Adam Smith being back on DAZN has made the difference. We can make the jokes about him being a fucking weirdo and another fucking underwear stealer. We can make all those jokes, but as a colour commentator, Adam Smith is the best in this country. He is. He just is. Like, he is the best commentator in that role, the lead colour commentator. He's decent. He's still a bit too he goes off on weird tangents at times, but when he has those moments, he has those moments. Like, he has those like iconic moments kind of thing. Adam the human soundboard Smith. Yeah, he does repeat himself. He does have the cliches, like I said, but he's better than the rest. He is. He just is, in my opinion. Yeah, I like Rawling. I do. I think he's decent. And it seems to me like he actually enjoys boxing. I don't mind John Rawling. Tell us more unpopular boxing opinions. I don't know. I don't really know. No, apparently... So no, it wasn't a gambling addiction. He was ill, like, he had cancer, apparently. Yes, Ronald McIntosh. Very good commentator. I liked Ronald McIntosh. He had, like, the weirdest turn of phrases. So, like, George Graves is hurt in the 4th stanza. He's discombobulated. Like, he had, like, such great sayings. Like, yeah, Ronald McIntosh, man... Really, really good commentator, yeah. As Ty and Booth dubbed him, the Black Skellington, yeah. Bro, he is such a good commentator. I think he's a very good commentator. To be fair to Mike Costello, like, Mike Costello is a really good radio commentator, but he never transitioned to becoming a TV commentator, because they are two totally different things. Like, he's very descriptive in his commentary, and you could tell that he still had that radio style when he was commentating on DAZN. I don't think he's a bad commentator as such. He was just the wrong commentator for that role. He's not a TV commentator. He's a good radio commentator. So I wouldn't call Costello a bad commentator as such, but yeah, he was bad. He's a bad TV commentator. But he's good. He's good on radio. Here's one. Evander Holyfield's entire career is suspect, and people shouldn't laud him the way they do. Oh, you mean things like that? Okay. Um, Low-key think Marvin Hagler might be the most overrated fighter in boxing history. By the way, and when you say somebody's overrated, that's not the same as saying they're bad or they're rubbish. Like being, you could still be overrated and still be a legend. I'm not saying he's not a legend. What he did at middleweight, all those defenses and that's a history book type shit. But any other cunt struggles with a lightweight, a shot like past his best lightweight the way he did Duran. If that happened these days, like imagine a prime Golovkin struggling with a lightweight coming up. I don't care how good the lightweight could have been. Like imagine the shit he would have gotten. Or losing to a welterweight that was retired for God knows how long with a damaged retina. Can you imagine? Because Sugar Ray was nowhere near his prime. Nowhere near. Whereas Hagler had been more active, had the size advantage, had everything in his favour aside from like being the lesser star, but like physically everything in his favour, and he lost. It's debatable whether you think he lost or not, but like he still struggled mightily. And like since Hagler's day, there's numerous middleweights I'd pick to beat him. Like a prime B-Hop, Roy Jones, Golovkin. I take these guys to beat him. I think he'd beat a guy like Sergio Martinez. I think he'd be too much for Sergio Martinez. I think he'd overwhelm him. No, Duran. No, it kind of shows that how good Duran was in a way because he was coming up from lightweight. He started at lightweight. But I don't care if Golovkin were to fight, let's say Loma, just throwing the name out there, like Loma or Shakur Stevenson. Let's say like he's taller and longer. Like if Golovkin were to struggle with like a guy like Shakur Stevenson and win. Bro, he'd get crucified. Again, Hagler was a very good fighter. Very good fighter, but I think like people who call him the greatest middleweight of all time are reaching. I really do. I'm not saying he's not a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he doesn't match up in certain fantasy fights. But I just think he's a little overrated. A little overrated. So, and yeah, just a little overrated, man. Just a little overrated. Martinez was overrated, yeah. And by the way, even like for example, even Hagler's fight with John Mugabe, excellent fight. Not disputing that at all. It was a crazy, brutal, proper fight, great fight. But who did Mugabe beat prior to Hagler? Who did he beat after Hagler? Again, I'm just going by how people judge fighters today. Like it's so like if a champion these days struggled with a guy who had no significant wins, like people would crucify him. But because it's like from a certain time period, we put on rose-tinted spectacles and make these events out to be things they weren't. It's a great fight. It was a great fight. Mugabe was a tough guy, but how good was he really? Like how good was he really? He beat nobody. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. I feel like people talk out the sides of their mouths. They'll judge fighters in today's era or more modern fighters with a certain standard. But if you actually go back and apply those to old school fighters, you can start picking holes in them pretty quick. Biggest waste of potential, fighters who should have done more. UK-wise, Kell Brook is the obvious example for me. People say Billy Joe Saunders, but I think Brook was better than Billy Joe. I think Brook was very talented. Clean boxer, good straight punches, good power, lovely timing, great balance, great distance control, very good jab. Like, Brook had a lot going for him, man, but just never worked out the way I think it should have. Because there was a time, like, if Brook was disciplined and stayed at welterweight, I think he'd have beat guys like Danny Garcia. I think Thurman would have been interesting, but I think Brook's precision might have saw him through. And I think a healthy Brook would have beat Spence. Don't get me wrong, that Spence was very good. That version of Spence was very good. Until he fucked it. He's another one, by the way, Errol Spence. Errol Spence is another one. So I think Spence was more talented than people realised. When Spence was on the come-up, and when he first became champion, I think he was very interesting. Very interesting. What's up, Ash? How you doing, bro? I don't think there's any such thing as a perfect boxer. I wouldn't put him top 10 either, Golovkin or Loma. Usyk to me is far superior to both Golovkin and Loma in terms of what he's achieved and what he's had to contend with in doing so, like navigating the weight disadvantage. I think Usyk is clear, way clear of Golovkin, way clear of Loma, personally. But you can't lie, modern heavyweights on average suck compared to their 90s and 70s counterparts. You say that though, but again, this is what I don't... I'm not saying you do this, by the way, Nabzila. Like, maybe you've had this opinion forever, but like, it was only like 4 or 5 years ago where people were saying this was the golden era, but as soon as Usyk beats these guys, it's shit again. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying you've done that, by the way. I'm not saying that at all. Like, maybe you've had this opinion even when like Wilder, AJ were champions. I don't think it's the strongest era, but I don't think it's the weakest era, personally. I think it's an average era. Yeah, Spence moving with the rappers was his downfall. Yes, but he was a very talented fighter though, bro. I think he was very talented. Again, he had that style I really appreciate. That kind of swarming, body punching, brutal, like... I like punchers, but I also like guys who punch the life out of you. There's a difference. Guys who beat you into submission. I like those sort of fighters as well. Oh yeah, the current middleweight division, yeah, Hagler would. Like, the middleweight division now sucks. What do you think about how Loma's career ended? Disappointing. Disappointing. I don't think he lived up to his potential, I'll be honest. I don't think he lived up to his potential. Yeah, he got jobbed in the Haney fight. He did. But he did lose to Salido. Legit. Well, Salido was overweight, but he could have pulled out. And he did lose to Tio. He lost that fight. And like, since then, he's won the title. He's he's beat Kambosos, and what's he done since? Like, vacate the belt if you're not going to fight. He's getting on my nerves now, I have to be honest. Just retire. If you're not going to fight, retire. Fuck off. I'm sick of these fighters hanging on and holding shit up. I'm tired of that sort of shit. But I think Loma should have done more. Maybe in retrospect he should have managed his career different. So I rate that he went after challenges, but I think he was very naive to the boxing landscape. Giving up size is one thing, but he gave up size against guys who were pushed by the industry, and that's never going to end well. So if I had a time machine and I was Lomachenko, I would stay at featherweight and super featherweight, because he wouldn't lose there post Salido. See, this is the thing, like the tail end of, this is a great point. The tail end of the Lennox Lewis era, so like real late 90s, early 2000s, those years were far worse than the Klitschko era. Far worse. You had guys like John Ruiz being champion. Yeah, Povetkin sticking around as long as he did is the prime example of how the Klitschko era wasn't weak. Bro, Pulev is another one. This heavyweight era is light years better than the 2010s with the Klitschkos. You say that, Ash, but like 2011 Vlad against, let's say, 2018 AJ, 2018 Wilder. Those fights for me go one way. Same with Fury. I think Fury would be tricky, but I think a prime Vlad would beat Fury. Then, like we said, we had Povetkin, a relic from the Klitschko era, from that era, having success in this generation. We had the same with Pulev. We had the same with Hellenius when he knocked out Kaunaki. Kaunaki, at one point, was being pushed as a big contender, like a big up-and-comer. I don't think the Klitschko era was anywhere near as bad as people make out. Again, I'm not saying it was super strong, but it wasn't as bad as people make out. Like, even like a prime David Haye. A prime David Haye against a lot of these guys we've seen at the top of the division in the last 10 years. Bro, David Haye would fucking go through, what's his face? Like Dillian White, for example. He'd go through him. And another relic of the Klitschko era, Derek Chisora. He's still knocking about, doing well. How weak was that era, really? That's a great video. How weak was the Klitschko era, actually? Because if you put "actually" in a title, you know it's thought-provoking. Yeah, Loma was technically unbelievable, but my one issue was with him that I'm not sure if he could bite down on the gum shield like Usyk. He lost round 12 in both the Haney and Lopez fights. That's a great point. Like, talent-wise, like, if we're talking about pure talent, like, Loma is excellent. Like, he's up there with, like, the best I've seen. But there's more to boxing than just talent. Usyk's got fucking grapefruits the size of, well, grapefruits. Have you ever seen anybody slim come out of McDonald's that's over 30 and doesn't walk with a limp? That's a random ass question, Rambler. Do you know what though? I've not had a McDonald's in forever. The only time I ever have a McDonald's is if I go out like a night on the session, like a night on the town, whatever, get pissed up, and the next day I'll order like a McDonald's breakfast. But that happens like twice a year maybe. This is a true story as well. I've never been inside a McDonald's in my adult life. Like, actually inside a McDonald's. Never. That might be a lie, but I don't remember going in one. I've been in, like, KFCs and shit. I've been in Burger Kings, but I don't remember ever going into a McDonald's as an adult. Yeah, I don't give him a whole bunch of credit for the Rigondeaux fight, but a lot of people wanted it. A lot of people wanted it because Lomachenko, even after the fight, said he never wanted that fight. Loma's best win is Linares and Rigondeaux, basically. I agree, that's a great comparison. I don't know fuck all about snooker, but he's kind of that maverick type. Yeah, he's clearly talented, but yeah, you're right. Gary Russell was a good one, actually. See, he's another one, speaking of wasted talents. Gary Russell. Very talented fighter. Alex Leopai getting a shot at the title was pretty damn bad for the heavyweight division. That era absolutely stunk. I'll raise you that, though. In this era, we had guys like Johan Duhaupas getting title shots. We had guys like Eric Molina getting title shots. A shot, Bermain Stavern getting a title shot. You know what I mean? Gerald Washington, Spielka, Klitschko relics like Chris Arreola. I'm saying, like, what's up, Tom? How you doing, bro? Yeah, that Lapping guy, not sold on him at all. Not sold. No, yeah, in terms of entertainment, you've got a point. But I don't think the contenders were as weak as a lot of people make out. And by the way, I'm not like flaming you or anything. It's a conversation. We're not flaming anybody. The only people we've really flamed tonight is Dave Allen. Can you imagine if Dave Allen gets a title shot, by the way? Like, that would be like I think that would be the end point to, like, say this era was stronger. If Dave Allen gets a title shot. Because Dave Allen makes Alex Leopai look like fucking David Tua. That's a good fight. I think it's a decent fight, TJ. And for me, it is Lee McGregor's last roll of the dice. Because when he turned pro, he looked good, Lee McGregor. He looked good, he looked promising, like he could do something. But it's not really worked out. Who do I think Dave Allen should fight next? Bakadir Jalalov. Jalalov, to see the guy get knocked out. Dave Allen is 2 fights away from Usyk. I mean, you could conceivably say he is, but I could be 2 fights away from Usyk. Once Usyk retires, the heavyweight division will drop rapidly. Dubois is really the only one that looks like he could have some sort of reign, I'd say. Speaking of Jalalov, like, I don't rate that guy particularly highly anymore. When he turned pro, I was excited. He's got a lot of attributes. He's a southpaw, 6'7", moves quite well, but the more I've seen of him, the more I don't think he'll make it. I think he's still going to be dangerous because of his dimensions, because of his southpaw stance, because of his power. Great amateur pedigree, all that, yeah, great. But he just doesn't... the more I've seen of him, not as convinced. I'm not as convinced. I think Dave could maybe take Joyce. Nah, Joyce still beats him, bro. Joyce still outworks him. He outworks him. He might land the odd shot, like you said, John. Like, he might land the odd overhand. But I don't think it'll be enough to, like, knock out Joyce. Joyce's chin is getting worse, I think. But I don't think Dave's got enough power to knock him out. Or maybe he could drop him. But I think then I'm being kind. I want Caballel to be champ. He's 32, so he won't be around for long. Yeah, plus his style, man. He's got a very intensive style these days, Caballel. Which is interesting because when he earlier in his career, he was more of a boxer. If you guys have seen his earlier fights, he was like when he fought Chisora, he boxed a lot more, Caballel. But I think him turning more aggressive is actually beneficial to him. But you're right, it's a style that you know, generates a lot of wear and tear, and how long is he going to be optimal? I don't know. Yeah, that's probably a great comparison, Lee, but it'd probably be that sort of fight. If Dave Allen were to fight Joe Joyce, it'd probably look like Cash Ali. But that is Dave Allen's level, like Cash Ali. That's his level. That's his level, actually. He's like Cash Ali with a little bit more power. That's his level. Cash Ali versus Dave Allen at the Doncaster Dome, whatever it's fucking called. Yeah, I agree, Wayne. Hrgović is a good comparison. Because again, when I saw Hrgović as an amateur, because I watched that guy long before he turned pro, he was so much more dynamic in the amateurs. Quicker hands, quicker feet. He was lighter. He was more snappy with his punches. Better in every regard. Like, better in every aspect. But, like, when he turned pro, he looked okay first few fights. Slowly started to pile on more weight. I think the level of competition kind of stagnated him as well. And he never really developed, Hrgović. He never really developed. And it's a shame with Hrgović in particular because one thing about Hrgović, he's got a very good chin. Like, he was taking bombs from Dubois. Bombs. And he was spent after about 4 rounds. And he was still taking bomb after bomb after bomb. He never went down right in that fight, if my memory serves me correct. He got dropped by Zhang, but that was behind the head. And he took bombs in that fight. Hrgović has attributes that, like, a lot of heavyweights would kill for. Like, his chin is really good. He's got a really good chin. But he doesn't have that fucking dog. That dog. Doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. He looks like he should be a fucking badass. Like, he looks like a heavyweight champion. He looks like something out of Rocky. You're willing to give Hrgović one more roll of the dice? Well, maybe things could open up when Usyk retires and that. Maybe things could open up. But I expected a lot more from Hrgović. And I kind of feel like Jalalov might go the same way. I think Caballel's been blacklisted for way too long. His last 3 fights he was brought in to lose and battered everyone as the underdog. Him not getting the Usyk fight is going to be suspicious, yeah. Speaking of one of the guys he beat, Frank Sanchez, I think he's been ordered to fight Hrgović in some sort of eliminator, believe it or not. Thunderdell. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's been good to catch up though, guys. I haven't streamed for a minute on this channel. Like, just a regular, like, boxing talk stream. Last time I streamed, I guess, was the... Didn't we do a live commentary for a card? Beterbiev won it. It was Beterbiev-Bivol. Maybe we could do a live commentary for Josh Taylor this weekend, if I get time. I mean, I'm going to be watching it anyway, but it's if I'm in the right mindset for it. We might do a live commentary for it. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see. Don't hold me on it. Yeah, it's a decent fight. And by the way, I like Cabello, like all of you guys, I think. But one thing I'll say about Frank Sanchez is he looked off in that fight. I have to be honest. He was moving so weird in that fight, Frank Sanchez. No, I thought Frank Sanchez was a decent proposition. He wasn't the most exciting, but he was that fight with Cabello, man. I'm sure he was injured. I'm not trying to take credit from Cabello, but I've seen like so many Sanchez fights. He wasn't moving that well. I don't think Sanchez has fought Nabzila. I don't think so. Maybe he's had like a comeback fight kind of thing, you know, like against a bum, maybe. No, he's had one fight. So he fought in February in Mexico, in Tijuana. He stopped a guy called Ramon Olivas Echeverria. Yeah, he knocked this guy out in 3 rounds. He had a record of 18 wins, 24 losses. He knocked out Razor Ramon in Tijuana. He's all right, Lee. He's all right. Out of all the guys Fabio's fought so far, I'd say Huni is the best. I'd say he's the best. I'd say Justice Huni is better than like Fraser Clark, for example. So he's had competitive wins over Kevin Lorena. You know, Lorena's better than anybody Clark's beat, for example. Had a win over Andrew Tabiti. Like, Huni, I think, is probably a level above Fraser Clark. I'd say. Have I met a subscriber in real life? I mean, technically, on my other channel, my friends are subscribed, I guess. So, yeah. But no, not like that, though, no. He had a knee brace on, okay, yeah. He was definitely moving weird. Thoughts on Bakram versus Lubin. Winner eventually faces the winner of Zayas versus Perez. I think Bakram should have too much for Lubin. Lubin, he's a talented... By the way, Lubin is a talented fighter, but he doesn't have that durability. He doesn't have that durability, I don't think. He's talented, and he tries to stay in there, but I feel like he's one of those guys where his body kind of just lets him down. I think Murtazaliev will be a bit too much. I think he'll actually have moments, though, in that fight. I do think he'll have moments, but I think Murtazaliev will be a bit too much. Zayas is fighting Perez. That's a good fight. That's a great test for Zayas, because Perez recently upset Charles Conwell, who I quite rated, but Perez went in there and kind of dogged him out. So, 2 good fights there, and hopefully the winners fighting each other. That's great. They scanned Frank Sanchez for the Undisputed game. Interesting. I haven't been playing that recently. Well, I played it a couple of weeks ago on Twitch, but I haven't played it for the last couple of weeks. It's definitely more balanced now, I'd say. Undisputed. It's more balanced. Just hopefully they keep on adding fighters, keep on adding content and shit like that. Any guys, anyone here play Undisputed? Because I'd like to... See, I'd love to make a tournament where I play subscribers or just play you guys on stream. That'd be fucking fun. Undisputed sucks. It looks like donking prize fighter for the 360. It's fun. It's got a lot of problems, but it's fun. So I primarily... Well, I only play online. So, like, the problems online are... have been an issue. Like with desync and things like that, and all sorts of issues with online. But it's slightly better on the latest. It is better on the latest patch, but it is fun. That's the main thing. I don't care what it looks like. It's fun. I've got an unpopular opinion. The online play is better than Fight Night Champions. It's better because there are certain things in Fight Night Champions. Fight Night Champions was basically Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It's just nostalgia goggles with Fight Night Champions. If you're an online player, like Fight Night Champions, it just looked like I didn't like the way the knockouts looked. I didn't like the way the punches looked. I didn't like the way the fighters looked. Like online, Undisputed is better. As bad as unbalanced as some things are, as glitchy as when it works. What I'm trying to say is when it works, I think is better. Personally. I heard EA are working on a new Fight Night game. Well, hopefully they are. Because they've got the budget to really, really make a good game. Like, they've got the budget. Like... But again, one thing I will say about Undisputed, the only thing I will say, I think low-key, the roster Undisputed have, the fact that it's better than any Fight Night roster kind of really shows EA for what they are. They're just cheap. I want a whole bunch of fighters, like official fighters, if EA were to make a Fight Night. I want a whole bunch. A shit ton. Because Undisputed have got a fair few fighters already. Like, the roster's better than anything on Fight Night. Easily. Not close. When John Fury said Luke beat Usyk twice, he meant on Undisputed. Yeah, facts. Facts. Yeah, John Fury's a fucking moron. Well, I'm waiting for Kovalev, bro. Apparently Kovalev's in the fighters to be added. I want Kovalev to be added soon. That'd be nice. They need to add some free fighters as well. For all the fucking issues the game's had. And the people who have stuck with it. They need to offer like a free DLC pack. Like 6-7 fighters. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Yeah, big up Del and chat. EA are the biggest bunch of shit cunts in gaming. Yeah, facts. They're greedy as fuck. They're greedy as fuck. Like, people say, oh, I want EA to make a new Fight Night. Like, okay, look at what like a lot of people think about the new FIFAs and shit, or EAFCs, whatever they're called. Cruiserweight division needs to get a move on, some good fights to be made, but none of them are happening. Yeah. Well, listen, like, we need Ramirez versus Optaya. That's the fight we need right now. Ramirez is fighting soon, right? He's fighting matey, Dorticos. Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, Dubois' team like saying they'd beat Usyk's team in a street fight. Yeah, it's just trivial, isn't it? It's just cringe. Would you rather have Big John Fury or Big John Fisher crash a family holiday every year? I'd say Big John Fisher, believe it or not. I'd say Big John Fisher. I feel like Big John Fisher is less offensive. He's annoying, but I just think John Fury is just... I don't know, I think John Fury's worse. I think John Fury's worse than Big John Fisher. I think he's worse. Having said that, if Big John Fisher gatecrashes a family event, the food's gone, bro. The food's gone. The food's gone. The food's gone. Yeah, but I mean, he couldn't have really turned pro earlier because he wanted to do the Olympic cycle, right? Unless he missed out on the Olympics. I mean, he could have done that. But then he wouldn't have got the promotional start that he got, so he might have been in the same position still. Like, it may have taken him longer to get to get ranked. I don't know, man. I just think he had a very limited time, Joe Joyce, and it passed him by, you know? That's the thing with Joyce. He had such a limited window. And yeah, it's kind of sad to see him fall off so hard, Joe Joyce. It's kind of sad to see him fall off the way he has. Because people clown him now, but there was a time when he was a legit contender. Yeah, I did see that video. Yeah, I did see that video. What's up, Boxing Brains? Yeah. I used to be a mod even though I was never asked. And I don't like controlling people, so I never blocked anyone. Did I make you a mod? I don't fucking remember, bro, honestly. What's the time? So it's 6:15. We'll go on a little longer. Got the football to watch tonight, and I need to get some food before that as well. I was going to cook some salmon, but I can't be arsed. I really can't be asked to cook. So instead, I might just cook some fucking noodles. Got some spicy fucking noodles, like some Korean noodles. Might just have them. Have I had a rant about Pacquiao Barrios yet? If not, let it rip. Don't think I can, bro. Like, I just don't want to see Pacquiao embarrass himself against a guy like Barrios, man. A guy who in his prime, like, would Pacquiao even use Barrios for sparring? Like, prime Pacquiao when he was sparring like fucking Amir Khan and shit. Fucking Barrios, man. I have heard of Floyd Diaz, but I don't know. I never knew he was arrested. It's such a whack-ass nickname, isn't it? Cashflow. Floyd Cashflow Diaz. That's such a whack nickname. What did he get arrested for? Thinking we need another blue collar rant video. Gold standard is the Michelle Joy Phelps video. Yeah, that was up there. We called it as well. We did say that way back then she'd end up on OnlyFans. We called it. We called it. Okay, so he was driving a stolen vehicle with weapons suspiciously in the middle of the night. Allegedly, he might be drug dealing or something. He's deleted all his social medias. I just don't get it, bro. Like, I'd seen Floyd Diaz a couple of times, and while I wasn't like super impressed with him, he had a career in boxing. Why would you throw that away? Like, why would you throw that away? I don't get these young kids, man. I don't get it. Like, if he'd knuckled down and, like, he'd make money, like, in boxing. He'd make money. It's crazy. And he's only 21 as well. I just had a look. He's only 21. That's crazy, man. It's crazy. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, I guess he's living up to his nickname, right? Cashflow. I guess he's living up to it. Anything to make the cash. I'm trying to see with his fucking lineups out. But you know, there's always fighters like that though who piss away their talent, piss away their careers. Whether it be via crime or just not having the correct attitude or love for boxing. There's been a lot of fighters like that. unfortunately. Tell you one, that there's a fighter who I always used to be very high on. Was Frankie Gomez, if you guys remember him. Like, Frankie Gomez was a very talented fighter. Like, really talented fighter. But yeah, he never made the most of his potential. Yeah, usually when driving a stolen vehicle, it's to push stuff on the side, whether drugs or other stuff. It's sad to see, yeah. But, you know, he had the opportunity there. He had the opportunity and he's probably blown it. He's still young, so maybe he gets away with it. But I just don't get people like that. I just don't. My brain can't compute it. My brain can't compute why you would throw that away. Why you would throw away the chance to become a to be a boxer and, you know, earn some money and do well. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Or maybe he just didn't think he was good enough in boxing. I don't know. Because I never rated him all that highly from what I saw of him, but that's life, isn't it? That's life. That's life. Such is life. Such is life. I'm just trying to look at the schedule now. There's really not a whole lot coming up, is there? That's the crazy thing. We have Maxi Hughes tomorrow or Friday in Doncaster. Maxi Hughes versus Archie Sharp. Rubbish. Not interested. What else have we got? Obviously, Josh Taylor this weekend as well on Saturday. I'll watch that, obviously. Might even do a commentary. What's next week for weekend after? What's going on then? What's going on then? Oh, it's fucking rubbish, man. I never watched their first fight, Hand History Vault. Lyra's banned, I think. Lyra's doing a drug ban, right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Old habits die hard, and that you are right. You are right. Yeah, Atalma just needs fights where he can get rounds. Honestly, he needs rounds. Fought some Devin Haney versus Jack Catterall. Bro, that's a fight that could be compared to fucking Jonestown, bro. That's gonna put a whole bunch of people to sleep. Awful fight. That would be such a bad fight to watch, honestly. I take Haney. I think he'd be more active with his jab. But it'd be a bad fight to watch. It'd be a really bad fight to watch. Hopefully that never gets made. I'll be honest. Yeah, Jermaine Franklin's a great shout. A guy who can look after himself, who can defend himself, who'll throw a few shots back. That's a good fight for him. That's a good fight. We have got a good fight though this on Wednesday. Eduardo Nunes is fighting in Japan. He's fighting Mansouri Rikishi for the IBF super featherweight title that Kakache vacated. That Nunes could be a guy to keep an eye out on. I've seen a bit of Nunes and he's very exciting. Crash bang wallop fighter, big puncher, heavy handed. And that Rikishi fella's not bad either. That's a good fight, that is. Yeah, I don't really care for that fight, bro. Catterall versus Harlem Eubank. Don't rate Harlem Eubank all that highly. And Catterall boring as fuck. Only time I want to see Catterall win a fight at one... There's nobody I want to see him fight, honestly. I take a fight with Matias because Matias, if anybody can make it exciting, it's him. Nunes might lose this fight. It's a dangerous fight. Rikishi, I've seen a fair bit of Rikishi. Like, he's a solid fighter. Hits hard enough to take advantage of Nunes' aggression. Why is 38? So it could happen, bro. Usyk's slowing down. There's no doubt about it. Usyk is slowing down. There's no doubt in my mind. Hang on, I never knew. On Friday next week, Guadalajara, Murodjon Akhmadaliev, he's fighting. He's fighting Luis Castillo in Guadalajara. Never heard of this Luis Castillo before. Only Luis Castillo I've heard of is Jose Luis Castillo. Is that his son? That can't be right. I'm not sure about Brian Norman, Blackstorm. He's impressed me in his last couple of fights, I have to say. He's looked good, but again, you look at the level of guys he was fighting. I don't know how good those guys really are, to be honest with you. The last opponent he fought, the last guy he fought, the Colombian guy, or Puerto Rican guy, wherever he was from, I forget where he is from, Derek Cuevas. He was rubbish, but, you know, Brian Norman still did the thing. He did his job. Giovanni Santillan, it was a good performance. Like, Norman's alright. I think Norman's alright. I think he should beat Sasaki, personally. Sasaki is a puncher, though. He can whack. And he's young. He's only going to be getting better. But I think Norman might be a bit too quick for him. A bit too sharp. I've only seen a little bit of Sasaki, to be honest with you. I've only seen a little bit of him. And I saw his last fight because it was on the undercard of Inoue's last fight against Sakai, who's like a gatekeeper. And I wasn't all that impressed with him, I have to be honest. I spoke with one of Teofimo's coaches last summer. Norman priced himself out with an unbelievable pay amount, so that fight fell out. Norman's overrated as fuck. I don't think anybody rates him, though. That's the thing. Like, I don't think anybody really rates Norman like that. He's still got to prove it. I think he's alright. Like, Santillan's not a bad fighter. That's his best win. He's not a bad fighter, so Santillan I would describe as like a if we had a strong welterweight division, I would say Santalan would be a fringe world level guy, and Brian Norman beat him okay, like relatively well. So it's hard to know how good Brian Norman is though. Like it's hard to know. It's hard to know, man. But he's fighting in Japan. I give him that credit. He's actually taking his career seriously. He's taking the fights wherever they are, and that's a good sign. I think the fact that he's willing to travel, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. A lot of American fighters aren't. So I like he's staying active and he's doing what he has to do. But we'll see how good he is. We'll see how good he is. Again, there's a lot to prove, so we'll see. We'll see. But I think Norman wins. Blue Blood Sports TV. Salute to my son. He made his name almost identical to me. You'll smash that like and share the stream. I doubt that's the real Blue Blood. Is he? I don't even know if he's still around. Blue Blood. But yeah, the next couple of weeks in boxing, man, are not really they're not really fucking jiving with me. Honestly, they're not really getting me excited. There's nothing coming up as such. The next card really is that New York card. That's the one. That's the one. Just having a look through, man. There's really nothing for the next couple of weeks. Fucking rubbish. Kayla Plant, not this weekend coming, the weekend after, Kayla Plant returns. He's fighting Jose Armando Resendez. He recently beat somebody, and I forgot who. Jarrett Hurd he beat, I think. So he's coming. Kayla Plant's coming back in a tune-up. Jamal Charlo's on the undercard. He's fighting that cornflake guy. Fucking hell. Like, what's the point in this? Like, just make the fight Plant versus Charlo. Like, what's the point in this rubbish? Jesus Christ. What's up, Duck? How you doing, bro? Lol. Yeah, Dana. Yeah, I saw this actually. Yeah, Dana's no longer promoting Canelo Crawford. Yeah, we'll see what happens with TKO. Apparently they have signed fighters. Yeah, I saw that knockout. That was a brutal knockout. Yeah, I mean, why is he fighting cornflakes? Jamal Charlo's a fucking retard, honestly. Like, this is the thing with boxing I just don't understand. And it's getting to the point now to where it's becoming jarring. What's the point in this card? What's the point Jamal Charlo fighting cornflakes? What's the point Kayla Plant fighting that random dude? Resendez. What's the point? Is it going to make that fight Plant Charlo any bigger? No. What's the point? Make the fight now. It should be this. The fight should be happening now. Oh, but they need tune-up fights. Fuck that, man. They're like in their 30s. They've had their time. Just fight now. Like, what is this fucking rubbish? Honestly. What the fuck is this rubbish? It's a great fight. It's a comeback fight. Jamal's been out for a very long time. Jamal. You've got Shiraz over Berlanga. I'm not sure, bro. Honestly, I'm not sure. Shiraz is more skilled than Berlanga, but I don't know how he holds a shot. Don't know how he takes a punch. And Berlanga, although his power's overrated, he hits hard enough to maybe test the chin. So I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it though. Yeah, so yeah, it's mainly a stay busy fight for Plant, but also a get off his ass fight for Charlo. I think with Jamal, it's just genuinely he's getting misguided by someone we don't really know. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. Let's consider that Amo Williams did better with Steve Rolls than Bumlanga. Yeah, 100%. Bro, that guy he was fighting, man. Honestly. That guy he was fighting, he had like 10 years inactivity. I think he was in prison, I kid you not. I think he was in prison. So this is the level we're dealing with. This is the level. Some of these account names are hilarious, by the way. Bill Haney's sneaky link. I better stop talking about my stepson. He dominates everybody from 135 to 154. 100% he does. So the guy he fought, Bumlanga fought, he blew up to 300 pounds in jail. Fucking hell. Yeah, bro, he's horrible, man. Horrible. But, you know, fucking, to be fair to Berlanga, considering how the Williams skull fight went, Canelo versus Berlanga looks like Hagler Hearns. My friend and his dad train with Top Rank Stable. I've heard stories about Berlanga. I've never been impressed to the slightest. War Shiraz. Listen, Shiraz is a better boxer. I think he's got more technical ability. I actually think Jake Paul would have had a 20% chance against the Canelo we saw the other week. His legs are completely gone, in my opinion. Speaking of fucking Jake Paul, he's fighting matey Chavez Jr. It's insane. I'm sure Chavez Jr., by the way, is half retarded as well. Sure he is. Yeah, Shiraz, 100%, yeah. He did duck. He did duck Janabek. Lol. Can we imagine if Berlanga wins against Shiraz? Yeah, you'll never hear the end of it. You're 100% right. Yeah, listen, man. I hope Shiraz... I don't really care, actually. I say I hope Shiraz wins. I don't really care, but having said that, I'd rather Shiraz win. It's not like I hope. It's not like I'm invested in the winner. But I find Shiraz a lot more palatable than Edgar Berlanga. So I do hope Shiraz... Yeah, I want Shiraz to win, but... Golovkin on points. I think Golovkin on points. Sacrilege to some, I know. Why didn't you read my last comment? Did you get nervous? You put it up there and take it down. Because I know you're a bloke, Paris. I know you're a bloke. Sweet G97, what's good, Del? Funny feeling Esserman will win on the weekend. I think Taylor wins. But I think it's the type of fight to where we'll find out exactly what Taylor has left. Esserman is a good domestic fighter. He's a good domestic fighter, but he's not like anywhere close to world level. If Taylor has anything, he'll win. You know, he was a world level fighter, Josh Taylor, so if he has anything, he'll win. But I think we'll find out exactly what he does have, I think, in this fight. This ain't that, honey. I'm 1000% real. Well, listen, I need some proof. I need some proof. I need some proof. I don't know why Berlanga is as rated as some top fighter by the boxing industry, because he shifts some tickets, man. That's the only reason. He creates a bit of buzz. You know, he's somewhat known on social media to a degree. That's why. That's the standard now, honestly. Rumours about Jake Paul getting a world title shot at cruiserweight against Badou Jack after the Chavez Jr. fight. Bro, fucking hell. If it's a real fight, I'd watch it just to see Jake Paul get splattered. Bro, some of these comments are fucking hilarious. Yeah, that's a good fight, Jordan. That's a good fight. I think Collins has the momentum going into that fight. Angel Sirianni. What's up, JD, bro? Yeah, I'm going to get off in a minute, bro. Football starts in circa 1 hour and 20 minutes. Going to watch us lose to Tottenham. Fucking Tottenham, that fat Ange Postecoglou cunt. He's going to do us over. I can see it now. %1,000%, man. 1000%. Do like me a queen. I do like me a queen. How's your day off been? Productive. Got tomorrow off as well. I'm drinking now, so it's officially we're officially relaxing. There's no way Spurs win a trophy tonight. DNA is real. DNA is real, but like we got Ruben Amorim, who is that guy, by the way. He looks like such a greaseball. There's something about that guy I don't like. That's the only thing I'm clinging on to, Duck, is football heritage. Like, we've fucking fluked our way through this whole Europa League. And I feel like when that happens, it is written in the stars, but we're so bad that, like, it could just be a massive, like, cock tease. Where you're led on, and nothing happens. I've been there. Letting go of Eric was a bad decision. Listen, Eric had to go. He had to go, but I will say, if we still had Eric Ten Hag, as bad as I think he was for the job, I don't think we'd be in this position. I don't think we'd be 16th or 17th. We'd probably be like 9th or 10th. How many years has it been since Man U and Spurs finished so low in the Prem? Well, listen, this is the worst season in my lifetime. I guess the lowest we've been would be 74, that when we got relegated. 1974. It's been the lowest since then. Justice for the egg. Ten Hag, though, I think Ten Hag's the type of guy. I low-key think Ten Hag will do well somewhere else. I'm not fucking convinced by Amorim, though. He's too one-dimensional. It's the same fucking formation. Oh yeah, no, Rasmus Højlund is awful. Rasmus Højlund he might be the worst striker I've seen play for us. He might be the worst striker I've seen play for us, man. He's fucking awful. Like, people, a lot of people don't like Joshua Zirkzee, but I think Zirkzee offers so much more. Like, Zirkzee actually has technical ability. He can control a fucking football. He can give and go. Zirkzee, I think, is a talent. I'm not sure he's right for us, but he'll do well elsewhere. Højlund is fucking rubbish. Højlund is awful. I call him Rasmus Højlund. He's fucking rubbish, honestly. He's garbage. One of the worst I've seen. He got us 2 cups. He got us a League Cup, a Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup. And a top 4. Bald scrub Ten Hag can't manage big players. You're probably right. But I think at like a Dortmund or back to Ajax, he'd do okay. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if Ten Hag does go back to Ajax this summer. I think they've sacked their manager. Well, by the law of average, Chris, we should beat Spurs soon. Yeah, even a washed Cavani was better than what we have now. What's up, Gatted Up TV? How you doing, bro? Chris Brown was released from UK jail on 5 million. That's got to be bullshit, surely. You guys pulling my leg, man. I don't catch up with this sort of shit. No, you're right. You are right. Don't know about 5 million, but... Okay, they conceded the title in the 100th minute, bro. PSV won it, right? I've always liked PSV, though. I remember... I said Gatted Up. Yeah, what's up, Tatted Up TV, man? How you doing, bro? But no, I prefer PSV to Ajax anyway. I remember that PSV team from like 04-05 when they had like Park Ji-sung, they had Aurelio Gomez in goal. But yeah, no, boxing-wise though, we're talking about football. That goes to show where boxing's at right now. Like, the next couple of weeks are rubbish, honestly. The card I'm looking forward to is the New York card with Zepeda Stevenson. That's the card I'm really kind of looking out for. I do hope though Matias on that card wins that fight. Because I'd love to see Matias be a champion again. I kind of felt that the fight with Liam Paro was a bit of a perfect, like, you know, like when sometimes a fighter's in the right place at the right time. I think Subriel Matias has that kind of mindset where when he does well, he kind of gets complacent. And I think Paro took advantage of it. But I want to see a Matias in this fight that's like coming forwards, putting the pressure on. And I think he can take care of Puello. I do. I think he can beat Puello. I hope he wins. I really do. Apparently though, I heard, I've not seen this Tony Yoka fight, but apparently he got a lucky decision. I'm not sure. Bro, I like Dortmund. Dortmund, I think, are a team where, like, everybody likes them. Unless you're, like, in Germany and you're a rival club. I think Dortmund's one of those teams where, like, everybody likes them. Because I really like Dortmund. I was actually convinced that when we signed Kagawa from you guys, Shinji Kagawa, I honestly thought he'd be immense. I thought that would be such a great signing, but it never really worked out. The problem with Ajax is they're playing in Holland. Like, the league is not strong. That's the issue with Ajax and teams like Ajax and PSV. Like, they can build a good team, like the 2019 team. they'll have that team for 1 year. Then all the big clubs like the Barca's, the Madrid's, the United's, all the big clubs will like steal their players. So it's like they can only ever get to a certain level while the league is like kind of weak. Which is a shame because Ajax are like one of the premier clubs. No, I like Dortmund. There's like a lot of German clubs. I don't dislike any German club though, like even Bayern Munich. There's something classy about German clubs. Like Bayern, Dortmund, Leverkusen. The only one that maybe you could say is not is Leipzig. Because of how they formed, but I've always liked the Bundesliga. I've always had a soft spot for it. The games are always like really entertaining, and I like the Bundesliga. It's like one-sided as it is. I've always kind of liked it low-key. What's up, Henry? How you doing? I'll tell you what, so this is the first time I've actually purchased this year's FIFA or EAFC, and I bought it like a start of this year, like, and I've been playing. All I play is Ultimate Team, bro. I swear to God, that shit is the most sweaty gaming experience you'll ever have. Honestly, like my team right now is like, because I started from behind because I never got the game on release, but bro, it's fucking rough, honestly. Yeah, clubs like Hamburg and that are in the second division, right? Yeah, bro, it's not as good as it used to be. It's not as good as it used to be, Lee. Ultimate Team. Yeah, Dortmund, yeah, they've had Mkhitaryan, Gundogan, Usman Dembele, Marco Reus, yeah, Aubameyang, Haaland, 100%, man. Mats Hummels, Subotic back in the day. They've had some good players, man. They've had some good players. Yeah, Nietes though. Donny Nietes is like 40 though, right? He was a good fighter though back in the day, Donny Nietes. Tricky fighter. Kind of reminded me a little bit of a guy like Chris John. Bro, there's a lot of aspects of... I feel like the game's worse than it used to be, Ash. So this is my first FIFA, I kid you not, in like 10 years. And I feel like the gameplay was better back in the day. Like the actual gameplay I felt was better back in the day. There's so much cheesy shit in the new FIFA. Alasdair, yeah, I forgot about him. Whatever happened to that guy? Was his name Pablo or something? He's only 31. Paco. He plays in the UAE now. Jesus. He was at Barcelona. It's crazy, man. I've got Maxi Hughes, Henry. I don't rate Archie Sharp at all, I'll be honest. Like, Maxi Hughes is a really good domestic fighter / European level. I've never rated Archie Sharp. Never. I think Archie Sharp is just... I've never been impressed with him. The hands-down approach, like... He tries to fight in that kind of Roy Jones... Sergio Martinez style, but he doesn't have the speed, he doesn't have the reflexes, and he doesn't have the power for it. He's got poor fundamentals. I think Maxi Hughes beats him, possibly even stops him. I know Maxi's not a big puncher, but he's much more well-schooled. Yeah, Guirassy, he plays for Dortmund, right? He's a good striker, yeah, he's a good striker. I'd like a fucking good striker. Tell you that. I do like though. We are gonna buy Cunha from Wolves. I do like him. Okay, so the injury done him. Okay, okay, yeah, makes sense. My favourite FIFA was like FIFA '09 to like FIFA 12 and 13. Because I remember, I'm old enough to remember when Ultimate Team first came out. Because the first FIFA Ultimate Team came out on, I think, was '09. And at the time, Ultimate Team was actually a DLC. So you had to buy Ultimate Team. See, I'm old enough to remember that. But I don't like in the new Ultimate Team how like every Tom, Dick and Harry's got a special card. They obviously do that to like fucking sell like points and that, but to buy them. But what's the next fight you're looking forward to? We was having this conversation earlier. There's actually not a lot on the schedule that I'm hyped for. I think the New York card is the one I'm hyped for though. If I had to pick a card, so Stevenson, Zepeda, Shiraz, Balanga, Matias versus Puello, and Morel versus Kataev. I think they're the fights that I'm looking forward to most. But outside of that, man, like, I'm struggling. Like, I don't care. I don't know why, but I don't care about Usyk versus Dubois 2. Don't really care. I don't really care for Canelo Crawford. Maybe I'll change my mind when we get closer to the fights. And I'm going to watch the fights, obviously. I'm not saying I'm not going to watch them, but gaming's not the same anymore. It was hilarious to pass the ball around at the back after being 1-0 up and hearing the absolute rage. Yeah, that's another thing now. Like, FIFA now, like, if you play FIFA now and you, like, insult people, you're going to get banned. Like, I miss the days when you could be toxic as fuck. I'll tell you what I have been playing. So, there's a mod for... So it's a mod. You need Call of Duty 4 Remastered. But basically what it is, it's a mod to remaster the original Modern Warfare 2 and the original Modern Warfare 3. And I've been playing that mod, and that's fucking super fun. But I miss those days on, like, back in the day, coming home from school, booting up, like, Modern Warfare 2, and just being an absolute fucking scumbag. Late into the early hours, just talking absolute shit to people halfway across the world. I miss those days, man. Calling them every name under the sun. Every name under the sun. And these days, like, bro, that shit doesn't exist anymore. Like, the Xbox 360 era was, like, the pinnacle of gaming. If you was online gaming back then, Xbox 360, bro, you'll never have times like it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, some of the games, like the old school Call of Duties, the old school FIFAs. Bro, I remember playing, like, GTA 4 online on 360 and, like, just fucking around in free roam. Those were the days, man. Those were the days, honestly. It's crazy, like, how far gaming... Like, gaming's gone, like... Obviously, like, technically gaming's got better. Like, games look better and shit, but they don't have the same soul they used to have. And the online component has been heavily censored and sanitized. It's nowhere near as fun. Left 4 Dead, by the way, I've been getting into, like, watching, like, Left 4 Dead videos, like, people doing reviews on it and shit. Like, the original Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, like, well, there's only 2, but Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, some of the greatest games ever made. Like, some of the greatest co-op games ever made. Like, Left 4 Dead was fucking immense. Like, versus mode on Left 4 Dead was fucking where it was at. So good, man. Like, and that's not even a complex game, but it was just done so well. so well. Such a good game. 2 really good games. There's a reason people still play that shit on PC. Like Left 4 Dead. Like, I was looking and apparently, you know, on Steam you can see like how many people are playing certain games. Left 4 Dead 2 is like, what, 15, 16 years old? And like, that game still sometimes gets 20,000 people per day playing it on PC. That's how good those sort of games were. Yeah, gaming is too corporate. The shareholders don't know what games are, and developers keep trying to please them rather than make a quality product. Yeah, it's more so like the actual game as well doesn't feel like it's like the main focus. It's like it's release the game and then release like the microtransactions after it. Like it feels like the microtransactions are their biggest priority. To like DLC and all that sort of shit, you know, pay to win, that sort of thing. It feels like that's the biggest priority. But the only thing is, the only thing about gaming now, so like, I got out of gaming for 13, 14 years. I just stopped. I actually, the last year I've gamed a lot more than I have for years. And it's because I bought a PC, like a decent PC, that can play decent games. And don't get me wrong, I mainly game when I stream on the other channel, like Twitch. But I've enjoyed it. Like, so I've been playing like DayZ and shit like that. And PC, if you want somewhat of a decent gaming experience, it has to be PC. I don't think you can get it on console anymore. Unless you're like a really sort of casual kind of person who plays games, like you play it like once a week maybe, then yeah, get a console. But if you want to try to like reinvigorate your love for gaming, then get a PC. It's the only way. Get a PC. Because one thing about PC is there are still like PC communities keep games alive, honestly. They really do. They keep games alive. Like some of the modding communities on DayZ is crazy, honestly. Like there's a map called Namausk, and that's some of the most fun I've had on games forever, honestly. So yeah, PC is where it's at. If you want a game, just get a PC if you can. Yeah, too much nickel and diming. On the bright side, we're living through the golden age of indie games and emulating. Yeah, there's always positives. There's always positives. It's like that guy who made, you know, I've been playing this on stream actually, that Schedule 1. So it's like that drug dealing simulator. You know that guy, he basically became a millionaire overnight making that game. And it's a fucking super basic game, but it's fun. It's like mad fun. It's like a cartoony sort of drug dealing simulator. And I never thought I'd play a game like that. But I bought it for stream, just to try it. And low-key, I was fucking hooked on that game for a minute. Something about it's just so fun. You can tell... You can tell somebody actually put effort into it and put some thought into it and put a bit of soul into it. But it's hella fun, like, making your own, like, drug productions and shit, and it's just hella fun. Let's have a look at this lineup. It must be out now. Here we go. Let's have a look at the lineups. Oh, God. That's a stinky lineup. Luke Shaw's playing. That's fucking no bueno. Luke Shaw. Oh, God. Mason Mount. I'm glad fucking Garnacho got dropped. I'm not going to lie. That's a rubbish lineup, though, still. But no, I do plan to... One of my plans, actually, is to... Before GTA 6 comes out, which is like another year away, I kind of want to play through all the GTAs from GTA 3 onwards, excluding Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories, and stream it on Twitch. Kind of want to go through them one more time. By the way, if anyone doesn't know, I do have a Twitch. Anybody who's got a Twitch account, if you watch Twitch, I've linked my shit there. This Europa League final is the equivalent of Dave Allen versus Cash Ali. You're probably right, bro, honestly. You've got Richarlison on the wing, yeah, that's true. With no creativity in midfield. Yeah, your midfield is... Thing is, though, your midfielders, they're runners. You might overwhelm us, honestly. We got no ballers in midfield either, man, so... We got no ballers there either. Do you know what? I know it. I can see that fucking bum, like, Brennan Johnson scoring. I can see it now. I can see it now. One player from Tottenham I do actually really like, though. And I know he's not great defensively. But I do really like Pedro Porro. I actually quite like Van de Ven as well. I like Van de Ven as well. There's a few players in your team I don't mind. So I like Van de Ven, I like Porro. I think Vicario's decent. And I'm working with Onana, so I would take Vicario. I would take Van de Ven. I would take Porro. I'd still take Romero. I think Romero is a bit overrated. But I would take Romero over Maguire, for example. So there's players in that Spurs team I'd take. I wouldn't take Richarlison. I wouldn't take Johnson. I would take Solanke, not that I rate him, but we have Højlund, so I'd take Solanke. Yeah, Spurs still score goals. Yeah, Spurs still score goals. One player from Spurs, I don't get like why he hasn't done well, and I know he's been played like out of position at times. Is Basuma, because Basuma at Brighton, like fucking proper class player. And when Ange first went to Tottenham, those first 10 games, Basuma was excellent. But it was since he got sent off that time against Luton, because I was actually I was at that game because that was at Luton, and since then like he's been awful. But I feel like Basuma's one of those players. If he were to leave Spurs, he'd go somewhere and do well. Bentancur, sorry, I used to rate, but I don't think he's ever looked the same since that injury. Man City got relegated with a positive goal difference in 1938. I'll tell you what, speaking of relegation, in some seasons, we would be going down with our points total. We got 39 points. We got 39 points. So West Ham one year, they went down with 42 points. I think that was like 2002, 2003 maybe. So some years we would be going down. There's been some years where we would have gone down on this points total. And we're very lucky as well, considering how bad the bottom three are in Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton. Yeah, promoted championship teams can't compete at all. Pathetic showing from them. Yeah, maybe it's time to reduce the league to 18 also. Do you know what the worst thing is as well? I feel like now when a team gets relegated, they come straight back up, then they go straight back down. I even feel like it's the same teams getting promoted. So like Leeds are back up and Burnley are back up. I hope Sunderland beat Sheffield United. I don't want to see Sheffield United back in the league. They're just one of those nothing clubs, Sheffield United. No offence to any Sheffield United fans out there, but they're a nothing club. I'd rather see Sunderland back. Yeah, Di Canio, yeah. Yeah, that was a decent team that went down. It wasn't a bad team. I'll tell you who I'll tell you who I'd love to see back in the Prem though, sooner rather than later. I like the old school, like mid-2000s teams. You know, like Blackburn Rovers or Charlton Athletic. Teams like that. Bolton Wanderers. Bro, Bolton Wanderers back in the day, every time that would be a hard away game. Portsmouth as well, yeah, Pompey. Portsmouth. Wigan, yeah, Wigan, bro. Wigan. See, Portsmouth is a proper one. That's a proper fucking old school team. They had a good team though at one point. They had like Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe, Suleiman Tari, Sol Campbell, David James in goal. They had Glenn Johnson at right back. They actually had a half decent team at one point. They had a half decent team. Because they won the FA Cup. Now, to be fair though, when Brentford first went to the Prem, I thought they would be a one-season wonder. They've established themselves as a real Premier League club. Got some good players as well, and Mbeumo, Wissa. They've got some decent players, Damsgaard. Mm-hmm. And you got a good manager as well. Carlton, favourite football players. Carlton Cole. From a United perspective, my favourite football player, I'd say Paul Scholes. I'd probably say Paul Scholes, my favourite player. From a United perspective. Favourites of all time outside of United, like Ronaldinho. I'd put Messi in there. I'd put Ronaldo in there. Both Fat Ronaldo and CR7. People forget how good Prime Kaká was. Because I was at the game when AC Milan beat us. They beat us at Old Trafford in 2007. And Kaká that night ran riot. Like Prime Kaká at AC Milan before he went to Madrid. Such a great player to watch. Would glide with the ball like so good. Another very underrated midfielder from back in those days as well. Again, I saw this guy in the same game. Was Clarence Seedorf. Like Clarence Seedorf was the complete midfielder. Like excellent passer, could shoot, could get around the pitch, strong, athletic, technically astute. Seedorf was very underrated. I liked him. There's so many players I liked, man, back in the day. There were so many more like ballers back in the day as well. Like even players from like mid-table clubs, they had ballers. Like Bolton had JJ Okocha. Do you know what I mean? Like Blackburn Rovers had two guy, always scored bangers like 30-yard volleys. Morton Gamps Pedersen they had. Roque Santa Cruz. All these ballers were playing for like mid-table teams back in the day. David Villa was class. Yeah, David Villa was class. I do, Jamie. I think, yeah, football has lost its soul. The money involved is maybe one aspect, but also I think the over coaching is a big aspect. I feel like these days there's very few players who you can watch play and you'll say to yourself, yeah, that guy's a fucking free spirit. He's a maverick. You don't get those players anymore. Those sort of just ballers. You know what I mean? You don't get them anymore. You don't get those sort of players anymore. Like a Francesco Totti, like people like that, man. But to be fair, the Champions League this season has delivered. Barcelona, yeah, like Yamal is one of the rare players you watch and say, yeah, that guy, you just like watching the guy play. Like, he's fucking class to watch. Class to watch, man. PSG as well, though. PSG play some good football. Tell you who I really like in PSG is Vitinha in midfield. I think all their midfield is a really good balance. Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and João Neves. I think that's a really good balance. And like that, Kvaratskhelia as well. He's another one. Just maybe football is healing. We are getting some more ballers come through. Like Kvaratskhelia is fucking so good to watch. So good to watch. Yeah, Doué's another one. I think he's got potential. Yes, exactly, Matt. That's what I'm getting at, yep. Overly formulaic, yep. Way too coached. Individual brilliance is stifled, yep. I fully agree. Look at Foden. Now, I'll never say Pep's not a great manager. The results speak for themselves, but you look at what he's done with guys like Bernardo Silva, who I remember watching Bernardo play for Monaco. Bro, still a very good player, but he turns these guys into system players. Foden, Bernardo, Jack Grealish. Like, people can say Jack Grealish is overrated, but at Villa he was good to watch. He was good to watch. Like, he would take risks. But now he's a formulaic player. Like, if I was that sort of player, like, going to a Pep side, yeah, you're going to win trophies, but you might lose something in your game. Like, I'm a United fan, and I used to rate... Like, I think Grealish as a player there, but I think the whole City experience has just stifled him. Again, he's won trophies, so he's not going to say it was a mistake, but even back in the day, you had fullbacks like Dani Alves, and this wasn't that long ago though, but Dani Alves. But no, there are more ballers coming through now though. Like Florian Wirtz at Leverkusen is up there. He's good. Musiala, I like watching Musiala play. Vinicius is good. I do think, I'll be honest, I do think Vinicius is a little overrated. Like, I'll be honest, I already think Yamal's a better player. Just in terms of like the technical aspects. I think Madrid, I do think Madrid have a fair bit of work to do though. One thing about that Madrid side, I don't think there's a whole bunch of like technically like brilliant players. They've got very good, all have great basic fundamentals, but a guy like Bellingham I think is drastically overrated. He's a great athlete, Bellingham, and I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's not. He's a very good player, but I don't think he's that player to grab a game by the scuff of the neck and like dictate and create. He's not that sort of player. Jude Bellingham, I'm not trying to like be hyperbolic, but Jude Bellingham is basically Scott McTominay on steroids. That's what he is. Favourite player from the team you supported growing up? Oh, Paul Scholes, all day. Paul Scholes. Dictator, tempo controller, Paul Scholes, man. Great range of passing. Striker, great striker of a football. He scores clutch goals, yeah, but sometimes you watch people play football and he doesn't pass the eye test. For me, he doesn't pass the eye test. I'm old enough to remember Zidane playing at Madrid. And like even like a prime Modric, not this 40-year-old Modric, a prime Modric. You had Dimitri Payet recently, he's a good player. Or was a good player. Yeah, Mbappe. Yeah, Mbappe needs to play off the wings. Yeah, you're right. But having said that, who do you drop? So you've got Mbappe, you've got Vinicius, and you've got Rodrigo. See, I think Rodrigo might be like Madrid's most underrated player. I like Rodrigo a lot. I think he might need to leave Madrid, though. Honestly, I think he might need to leave. I like Rodrigo a lot. I think he's a very good player. I think he's a very good player. I'm not confident at all, bro. I know it's Spurs, but we're fucking so bad. We are so bad. I can see it written in the stars for this Ange Postecoglou to fucking win. When he said, I win trophies in my second season, it's like, bro, that's looking ominous right now, man. Nah, come on. No, you guys had fucking Bobby Moore. Like, Bobby Moore, man. But anyway, guys, I need to wrap it here, guys. I need to make some quick food before this final. I need to make some food. But yeah, peace out, guys. I might do a live stream on Saturday to do the boxing to Josh Taylor fight. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it here, guys. I'm gonna wrap it here. Peace out, guys. Have a good one.